Very happy to see you all. Good evening, everybody. I'm very happy to see you all. My name is Rachel, and some of you we met before, so I'm very happy to see you again. Today we have a meeting with Moriah Manor Ganim about information and social support for caregivers. With us, there's a representative. Mirit, if you can introduce yourself, and מרשות האוכלוסין וההגירה. So if you have questions about rights or another questions, so please write them down in the chat, or at the end of the webinar you can ask, and Mirit will help us. Okay, so we will start. Moriah, please. Good evening and
thank you.
Nice evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. And hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to our gathering tonight. And we are here to talk about things and how things have changed in Israel after facing some tough times that we all know over the last 50 days, right? 50 days has passed, and it's unbelievable. And it's been a challenging period for all of us, but it's also been a time when people like you, when caregivers, have shown an incredible kindness and support. And tonight we want to examine the changes in our routine and talk about things that we are all dealing with, but especially you. But most important, we also want to focus on our strengths and the strengths we have discovered in ourselves during these times, and the strengths we know that is found in our communities. And I will speak about your communities because I think it's very, very important. And during our time together, we will discuss practical ways to make our lives to feel a little bit more normal. And we see how we can support the people that we care for. So let's begin and let's explore this journey, learning from our experiences, understanding our challenges, and also to find hope and to find kindness as we move forward. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Moriah. I'm a social worker, and for many years I've been working with elders and with caregivers. And for the last couple of years, I'm also one of the directors of the Elderly and Holocaust Survivors Clinic at the Bar-Ilan University. So nice to meet you all. Our agenda for tonight, I would like to open and tell the story about CIMI. And then we will discuss the current challenges of caregivers these days. And I would like to redefine with you the role of caregivers today, okay? So let's begin. So before I start, I would like to say a couple of words about CIMI. I'm not sure if all of you are familiar with his story, but it's important for all of us to know, to listen, and also to express our gratitude that he is back here with us and for who he is. And so, until October 7th, CIMI was the caregiver for Amitai. Amitai was an 8-year-old resident of Kibbutz Nir Oz. And CIMI cared for Amitai for 4 years. And Amitai's family mentioned the close bond the two of them had. And during the attack on the kibbutz on October 7th, unfortunately, Amitai was killed, and CIMI was abducted to Gaza, where he stayed for almost 50 days. And on last Friday, CIMI was released in the first negotiation that took place, and he returned to Israel. And you can see in the right picture, you can see Amitai's sons visiting CIMI at the hospital, thanking him for his dedicated care for their father. And CIMI, I read about CIMI. And CIMI is a father of 3. And he expressed his desire to go and visit his family in the Philippines soon. But he also plans to return to Israel with the hope of continuing to work in the kibbutz, in Kibbutz Nir Oz. So I would like to take this opportunity to express gratitude to CIMI and to all the wonderful caregivers who did their best to try to save their lives and their employers' lives on October 7th. So welcome back, CIMI. And I will also say that we pray for the quick and the soon return of all the hostages to their homes. So let's continue. We have to continue, right? This is life. This is reality. And since the war began, we are all facing challenges that we hadn't known before. And there is no doubt that caregivers are dealing with new and complex situations, right? I'm sure that each and every one of you is experiencing that. So let's review some of the challenges that caregivers are dealing with. So I assume that for many of you, this is the first time you are experiencing war, okay? And first and foremost, I think you should appreciate yourselves for coping with this emergency situation and for dealing with a lot of pressure in the first weeks. I think that all of us were experiencing lots of tension. I spoke about it in the previous Zoom meetings that we had, the pressure, the anxiety, right? It was very, very stressful times. And I also know that your family abroad were very, very worried about you, and maybe they still are. And so you should have thought about calming yourself down. You should have taken care of your employer. And also you had your family abroad that I believe that you tried to make them feel less stressed, but it's not an easy mission to do from far away, right? The second thing is that I'm sure that there have been many significant changes in your routine. Until October 7th, I'm sure that you knew exactly what your plans are for the next day. You could imagine and plan your routine and your employer's routine, right? You will get up in the morning, you do what is needed for your employer. Maybe you will take a walk outside with or without your employer, attending the senior center if you used to go to a senior center with them, and many, many more activities. And the war has greatly affected our routine and also our ability to plan. And many people were afraid to leave their homes, right? Most of us stayed at home, and we had to constantly think about being close to a safe place, right? To a shelter, to a mamad. And this is the second point. And the third point is that the routine, before that, I want to say that the routine also inside the house has changed. Some people had to leave their homes, right? Some people had to evacuate to move to a safer place. And the change in routine for those who were evacuated is even more significant. And the third point is that the routine of your employer's family, I believe that it changed also, okay, significantly, because they might have been less available to visit. Perhaps they are needed to take care of their children, maybe their grandchildren, and maybe they too needed to evacuate from their houses. And I think that for those of you who are usually used to rely on your employer's family and you used to consult with them, I know that it's not easy when they are less available these days. So the good news, and I want to share some good news because I think it's important. We need to take every good news that we can these days. The good news is that most of us has the ability to adapt to changes and to difficult situations. Only a minority of people who experience a traumatic situation will develop symptoms like depression, intense anxiety, or post-traumatic stress. But most people will naturally recover, okay? And I personally believe that it's very encouraging. Even people who suffered the trauma themselves, not only listening or seeing it on the news, the people who suffered themselves, most of them won't develop post-trauma syndrome. And the second thing is that when we encounter a significant event in our lives, like the war we are experiencing now, we realize that what that worked for us until now may not be as effective, okay? Therefore, there is a need for us to make changes within ourselves and perhaps in our environment in order to adapt and to move forward. So what can we do? What can we do about it, right? It's not something easy to do. So I would like to discuss about care in motion, okay? And within the people that are here today, I believe that there are people that have been doing the job of caregiving for a short period, and there are more experienced caregivers here as well. But you know, when we perform a role, our job for a certain period, we may take it for granted, right? We're not thinking too much about our job because we're doing it daily. It's not something, you know, rare because we're used to do it every day. But tonight, I'm asking you, I'm inviting you to take a fresh look at who you are today, okay, during this war and the work that you do. I would like to ask you some questions that will help you to cope better with reality and to feel the purpose. My purpose is that you will feel more satisfied with yourself and with the job that you are doing, okay? So the first thing is a sense of belonging, okay? The need to belong is almost universal, right? We all, in almost any age, it's the feeling that we are part of a certain group or a specific community. Belonging gives us strength. It strengthened our personal and our social identity. And if we invest thought and effort into it, we will realize that it can be something tremendous. It's a tremendous resource for us, okay? It's really important to ask ourselves these days, who do we feel connected to? Okay, am I connected? I will give some examples. Am I connected to the family of my employer? And do they give me strength? Do I feel that the family of my employer gives me strength? Or am I connected to my community, the community of caregivers from my home country who are experiencing what I'm going through, right? We are all experiencing the same things now. Do I feel a sense of belonging to the people of Israel? Okay, because again, we are sharing the same reality. And do I feel the connection among us? Because when I feel connected to a specific group, I can ask myself also, what can I do on a daily basics to feel more connected to my community? Okay, and I will give some ideas. Maybe I can try to establish connections with caregivers from my home country and to try to engage in common activities with them. Perhaps I can participate in prayers or activities that are organized by my community or maybe the embassy to strengthen my sense of belonging. It's really, really important. So try to ask yourself on who you can rely on who you can lean on, and also ask yourself who can lean on you, okay? Besides your employer that I'm sure that they are all relying on you. Because you can be involved in your community and you can also take roles in your community and you can be a member in your community, you can be a leader. And I think that today, you know, with the social media, with Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and even here on Zoom, okay, it's much easier for us to connect with one another, to communicate with each other. And the communication these days is very, very important. So I invite you to build connections and create activities with those you feel that they are part of you, okay? Because we are all experiencing the same experiences in Israel today. I would like to show you, I'm not sure that you'll be able to hear the sound, but I will see if I can. I want to show you a video.
We don't hear the sound. It's okay.
Please know who I am. And I know my understand because you're not I know without you by my side that I would be afraid. Thank you for all of your trust. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for holding.
Okay, so I'm sorry if you didn't get the sound. I have some trouble with this video, but I just wanted to show you, okay, to demonstrate connection, okay, how people can feel connected, can feel that they are united for one purpose, okay? Oh, sorry, okay. And to demonstrate another example of the feeling of belonging, I want to share with you an amazing post that I came across on Facebook. And it was written by the daughter of Jessica's employer. Okay, Jessica is a caregiver from the Philippines. So the daughter wrote, 2 years ago, she came to us from the Philippines to accompany my mother. With time, she became part of the family. On October 7th, she held the mamad door handle, frightened, anxious, and caring for my mother. They spent hours together at home in the kibbutz. The embassy offered her to return home to the Philippines, but she decided to stay. A month after her decision, she got a tattoo that deeply moved us. So here we can see a sense of belonging. If you can see, we can see Jessica's back, Jessica's shoulder, and she had a tattoo. And what is written in Hebrew, I translated it. It's, we've survived everything. We will survive this as well. It's a famous, let's say it's a famous saying in Hebrew. And there's the Star of David there and the name of the kibbutz. And we can see that by her actions, Jessica, the caregiver, she demonstrates her deep connection to the community of the kibbutz, to the community of Israel. And she did it by tattooing the Star of David and the name of the kibbutz on her shoulder, okay? And it shows her devotion not only to her savta, to her employer, to also to the community. So now I don't want to you to think that you should all get a tattoo in order to feel connected. This was Jessica's choice, and we are respecting her choice, and really I'm full of gratitude, and I'm in awe to see that. But I do invite you to think about your connections and your actions, your relationships, and how you can strengthen them, okay? So let's move on. The second thing is finding meaning in our work. And when our reality changes, like what we are experiencing these days, things we used to do automatically can raise questions for us. People that are in crisis situation, they often stop to ask themselves important questions, maybe some philosophic questions that can help them focus on their actions and to stay true to themselves and to the values they believe in, okay? So I invite you to take the opportunity to ask yourself today, what is important to you? Or why do you do the work that you are doing, okay? And I believe that each and every one of you have different answers to these questions. And you know what? I will stop. And if you would like to share with us, why are you doing the job that you're doing? Really, every answer is a good answer. There's no right or wrong here. So I will stop for a moment my screen share. And if each one of you want to say something or write in the chat, why are you doing the job that you are doing? You can write in the chat. You can open your mic if you want. I will give you another minute if it takes time. What is important in your job these days? Okay. Maybe you will think about it. It's a big question. So maybe you will have the answer even after we'll finish or in a few days, because I think it's a really, you know, it's not an easy question. So just a minute, I'll fix my screen. Okay. So as I said, I can assume that there are several answers to the question that I ask. And for example, one case can say that I work as a caregiver in Israel because I want to think about my kids' future, and it's important for me to save money. Okay, this can be one answer. Another answer can be someone else might say that they work as a caregiver because they are the type of person who loves to help and loves to support others, and they feel that caregiving helps them to fulfill that, okay? And what I want to say is that through these questions, if we ask ourselves those questions, we can remind ourselves the things that we may have forgotten or slipped from our awareness. And I want to say that beyond the importance that each and every one of you gives to your job today, the significance of your job is even grown, okay? Because as Israel is in a state of war, today caring for the elderly and people with disabilities is crucial, really. It's crucial, and it's crucial especially today. And your ability to be there in these moments, to support them, to care for them, and to ease the burden from their families, okay? It's tremendous help. And I believe that you need to consider it when you are thinking about your contribution, not only to the people of Israel, it's also a contribution to the world, okay? I really believe so. So you should also think about the values, okay, that are important to you, and how can you integrate them in the important job that you are doing, okay? I want to share with you an interesting story about a study that was conducted in the USA, and it was done on with hospital cleaning staff, janitors. And the study they wanted to examine what does the cleaning staff think about their work. And the results of this study were very, very surprising. And let's say that the staff was divided into two groups. The first group, the cleaning staff spoke about their work exactly as you would expect hospital janitors, hospital cleaners to talk about their job. They say that the job is not fulfilling. They say that the job is not requiring special skills. And most of them said that they're only doing it for the money, okay? And if you ask them what the job requires, they say they will give you the official job description that was given by the hospital. But what was really interesting was we have seen it in the second group. In the second group, the cleaning staff, they spoke in completely different terms. they talked about enjoying their work. They found their work very, very meaningful. And they believe that the job requires various skills. And when they were asked to describe their work, they, their portrait tasks that were completely different from what the first group has said and has mentioned. And members of the second group were saying that cleaning the rooms every day while paying special attention to patients who needed someone to talk to, patients who felt lonely, and they were visiting them, every day, every week. The cleaners made sure they could come back again during their shift to spend time with them, to talk to them, to give them the opportunity to cry or to share their feelings with them. And the researchers, they named this phenomenon job crafting, just, crafting your job, redesigning your job. That's what the workers do. They redesign their work in a way that enhances their engagement, their satisfaction from their work, the resilience and the prosperity. And I think that this research is very interesting and it's very relevant to the job you are doing today, because it tells us something about the story that we tell ourselves and how we perceive what we think about our work, our job. For example, if we feel meaningful, if we are feeling that we have meaning in life, that our job is important, and especially for others, if we're doing something for others, it gives us purpose. It gives us a reason to wake up in the morning, And I know that, I don't know exactly what do you think about your work, but I would be very, very happy to hear. So again, if one of you wants to share, if you want to share with us, what do you think about your work? How do you perceive your work? Do you think that your work is important? Do you find your work meaningful? So please feel free to write it in the chat, and later I will read it again, And I would like to remind you, I also spoke about this before, and I will mention it once again, because I want to remind each and every one of you the importance of being in action and maintaining control, If we truly want to get back to our ability to function and to do things that they are meaningful for us, we need to encourage ourselves toward flexibility and to be in movement, And how can we do that? We are required to check with ourselves what are the things that I cannot control these days, and what are the things that they are still under my control, Let's give examples, Unfortunately, we cannot control the length of the war, when it's going to end. We cannot control anything about the release of the hostages. We cannot even control the feelings that we are feeling because of the war, right? We can try to adjust our feelings, but we can't really not experience fear, for example. But still, there are many things that they are under my control, and such as I can control how much I want to be exposed to the media, to the news. I can control my ability to ask for help. If I feel that I need help, so I can control it. And also I can do my best to control the new routine with my employer after I made the right adjustment to the current circumstances. And I want to say something about it, because being in control is a very, very positive thing. It makes us feel more protected, and it's a very secure place for us. It gives us more capabilities and more strengths, and we want to expand the sense of control as much as we can, as much as possible. And as caregivers, you have the ability to have a significant impact on your patients, on your employers. I know that these days it's not an easy task to give support to people in need, We all need support, and now we need to support others. But I think that only the knowledge that someone needs me, that someone can rely on me, that I can support someone only by, by smiling, by giving him assistance, it can give me strength and it can make me more resilient. And I would like to end my lecture before I will let you the option to express yourself, to express your feelings, your thoughts, to ask questions. I want to show you a nice quote that summarizes what I already said, and it invites us all, even in these times, to live fulfilling and meaningful lives. It says, don't count the days, make the days count, okay? Make each and every day count. Think about what can help you during this time to redefine what is important to you and try to incorporate it into your daily work, okay? It will give you interest, it will give you meaning. And we all need meaning in life. This is the engine. That's what I think, personally think. We all need this engine to get us work, to get us be more vital, okay? And it may not be a victory in war, but it will be a victory in your own life. And I believe that it's very, very important. So thank you all for listening. And now I will stop sharing my screen and I will see if you wrote something in the chat. And if someone wants to, you wrote nice things, let's see. Okay. So Diana wrote to take care of them. As I said, I asked what is important to you or what do you think about your work? So Diana wrote to take care of them completely and give them support. And that's very nice. It's encouraging you to do your job. Thank you for that. Marietta, I love this job. I would like to hear, Marietta, what do you like in this job? What is important? What do you find important? I loved it that you love your job. But I would like to hear what do you like about your job? Another one said, I'm doing this for my loved ones. And I love my employer, I'm almost 20 years, wow, to this family. I can only imagine the special bond you have with your employer, with the family after almost 20 years. Really, it's can't really imagine that I'm sure that you are part of the family, you are part of the community in Israel. That's very interesting, thank you. I want to support my employer in this situation and settle my family back in country. Okay, it's a good example. Support our employer and support our family with all my heart. Nice. I want to be a caregiver because it's a meaningful career. You get to quickly see the impact your work is having on your clients after you get to appreciate the life you have, and you get genuinely make a positive difference to someone's life. Wow. Marabet, what an amazing answer, okay? And I think it's true to all of you, okay? You have a very significant impact on others. You are probably you are the closest person to your employer, okay? And really you have an important impact, and I loved your answer. It's very, I think it gives us strength. At this moment, I love to do the job that I'm doing because I already put into heart that the person that I'm taking care of is my mom, as she was the reason why I applied to work as a caregiver. Okay, so you have a purpose. You see your mom in front of you, okay? This is a purpose. This is a reason to get up in the morning and doing what you're doing. What a beautiful answer. Let's see what else. This was my first time away from home, but with all my humility that my mother's installed within me, it is my passion to care for the elderly, relating them They are my parents too. What I did first is to learn to love her, my employer. Loving her is the way I could give respect, like what I did to my parents way back in the Philippines. The key of having a lot of patience for her is loving her. Wow. Wow. Maria, first of all, thank you. Okay. And I want to say something about it. You know, it's not obvious that I would love my employer. Okay. Sometimes the relationship with my employer can be complicated. Okay. We can argue, we're living, you know, we're some kind of roommates. Okay. And I don't know, but I don't know any 80 or 90-year-old person who would like to get a roommate in this period of life. Okay. But I think that what you wrote here, okay, the inspiration you got from taking care of your parents and what you learned, the values you got from home, back home, you can imply it in your job today. And it's really, thank you, Maria. It's a beautiful answer. I love my job, but when this work came, I need to adjust myself too. When the siren heard, a different attacked on me because we don't have bomb shelter. But thank God, everyone is safe. As caregiver, I'm lucky that have good connection to my employer. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Viola. As I said, you are experiencing war, maybe for the first time. Even that I, as an Israeli, and I have been in war times, and I know the situation of sirens still, I am very alert. It frightens me as well. So I can only imagine how frightening it can be to you. But I you know, you started, you know, in your answer, and you finished it in an optimist vision. So thank you for that. I love my job, Marietta, you wrote us, because it's challenging my ability to take care of my employer and mostly my patients, right? Some of you are writing about patients, and it's not easy, okay? It's not an easy task to be patient, but it's important. It's really, really important, and you are writing this down. I can control, Mary said, I can control negative thoughts and negative people, and I can support weak people, especially praying for all situations. Okay, so it's very important to see where you are in control. And it's nice that you are saying that you can control not only the negative thoughts, but, you know, also knowing if there are negative people around me, or if I'm speaking with someone that it gives me bad mood, maybe I should speak with him less these days, okay? And I'm not saying it as a joke, okay? I try to speak with people who gives me comfort, who are encouraging these days, okay? And do it also. It's very, very good what you wrote. For me, it's very important to keep calm, to understand the situation and be more patient with this kind of job, being compassionate and respect and love to our patients. Wow, your answers are really, it's amazing. And I want to thank you all for sharing these thoughts and sharing those feelings and your reflections. I love this job, right? I love this job because they didn't treat me as caregiver. They treat me there as I am one of their family. It's heartwarming to read this. Right now during the war, me and my employer are going to well. We are always keep positive thoughts in future of Israel. I mean victory. Nice. Additional to that, it gives me a lot of help to my children. Recently, my second child graduated as bachelor from science in nursing. Congratulations. And the youngest took architecture in Manila. I had 3 children. The eldest already finished college as a nautical marine transportation. First of all, be very proud at your children, and it's very good that you can support them and you can make sure that they will have a good future. And it seems like that they are on the right way to do so. I love my work as a caregiver, and I love my employer as my own mother. My mother passed away at least last 2 years, and I see and feel in time my sorrow. my employer is the one who comforts me and gives me strength that time. Wow, it's so moving. Thank you, Sally, for sharing this. And it's heartwarming that you can see your mother, or the feeling of a mother, that the relationship like you had with your mother, or only even similar with your employer. Really, it's not something that I think it's obvious. I came here 40 to 49 years old, and I stayed here in Sde Nehemia for 2 years and 3 months. Okay, and being a caregiver is not an easy task. That's true. And it's a full sacrifice, patience and challenges. But when you learn how to dance to the tune of your employers or the person you are taking care, everything comes step by step in an easy way, by giving companionship and emotional support to your employers, especially during this situation now. It makes them feel less lonely and more joyful. And that makes me feel satisfaction that I can also do a great job being a caregiver. I can only say, wow, really. I think that the thing you wrote here a lot, it summarized almost everything. It's a challenging career, and it's a very challenging career these days, okay, during war. And you just wrote it so beautiful, that you need, to find step by step the right dance, okay, to make it work, to be patient, to be there, to have companionship. I think it's beautiful, and thank you for sharing that. I think doing this job without love would not be easy, and that's why I'm still here with them now. Thank you, Cesaria. Okay, wow, you had beautiful answers, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for writing down and sharing. And really, it moves me that you are very, very cooperative, and we just need to give you the option to express yourself, to express your feelings. And again, I invite you to do it with your friends, with the members of your community. Really, see, we had many answers here. We had similarities, we had things in common. So you all have things in common, most of you. So try to find and ask yourself the questions I asked before. Who do I feel connected to? What is important for me? What can I do to feel more meaningful, okay, in my work? So thank you very much. And Rachel, do we want to give time for questions?
Yes, please. Thank you very much, Moriah. Is there any question to Mirit, question about rights or something? You can open your mic and ask, or in the chat. So this is your time. While you are thinking about what you want to ask, I wrote down the chat an invitation for tomorrow's Zoom meeting. That is a very special one, because it's not really a lecture, or it's more an yoga meeting. So for relaxing and being more together. So if you want, please join us. You have the invitation down. Moriah, there is another comment in the chat.
I will read it. It's very moving. I never had a chance to take care of my parents since they died early. Doing this job as a caregiver makes me feel I have my own family taking care of my Abba, treating him as my father. I love my Abba, and his wife is my family in Israel. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's moving, right, Rachel? It's
really moving. Thank you for this.
Rachel and Moriah, first
Yes,
of all, I want to thank you. This is really great for all of us. You know, your you're giving us a very good ideas on how to take care of our employers. I am almost 20 years with my employer already. I've told you, first her husband and then the mother. Now it's quite hard. She's stubborn already, but I patiently taking care of her. It's so hard. But because of love, I'm telling. Because of love, I'm telling that you have the patience to do all the job for them. And doing this job is really, for us Christians, I will tell you, because we are Filipino, for us Christian is a very great job for us, doing for God also. For our loved ones and my family here is really very great. I love them very much. During this war, they're always with me. Don't worry, everything will be fine. You're not alone. And it's so nice. And I'm so much very grateful for both of you giving us this knowledge to do our job more efficiently, I should tell. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Cesaria.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. There are two more comments. I understand there are no questions for the representative of the Population and Immigration Authority. So we will read your wonderful comments. Please, Moriah.
Okay, so Maria wrote, thank you also. This is also what I called as another community I also belong. Are you referring to this community over here? Because if this is what you meant, so we have done our job tonight, right, Rachel? This was our purpose.
Of course.
Okay, we want you also to feel belong here. Okay, you know, I stopped counting the Zoom meeting I had with all caregivers. I feel that we know each other. I think that we are becoming, you know, related in a certain way. Yeah. So this is also a community, and thank you for mentioning that. And I will really read the last comment by Joanna. Yes, it's a very meaningful for me, my work as a caregiver, because I feel happy every time I see my employer smiling and appreciate what I have done for her. We sharing opinion and experience, but based on my experience, I feel grateful. If I have done my duties completely, I always put my heart with my work and love and care. I feel satisfied and mission accomplished to see your patient recover well, and I can say to myself, good job, keep it up. Helping elderly is my great goal in my life. It's very, very meaningful for me as a caregiver. Amazing. And wow. I can also say, good job. Good job, Joanna. Really, you're doing it sounds like you're doing a magnificent job. So thank you. Okay.
So I think
I want also to say something. My English is so broken, but still I just want to mention that I feel lucky to be here and to hear all the stuff that you said, and it makes me feel so lucky that I'm in this job and this position, and how much איך אומרים, feelings and רגש, כאילו,
emotions?
Yeah, how much emotion and passion you have to your job, and it's amazing to wake up and every morning and to know that you have a job that is so important to someone else. And I read somewhere that when you ask someone what is happiness, the most important, answer that's back several times was that that is happiness. And I'm happy about this.
Mirit, we couldn't hear the last sentence.
The most important sentence, Mirit.
מה?
שמעתם על המחקר אבל?
No, you said about happiness. What is the most common saying?
Oh, so the most common thing that the people said around the world, that it's when someone needs you. And when you wake up in the morning and you know that someone needs you and waiting for you and know that you're gonna come, and about treatment, it's amazing. So that is happiness, and that make me feel every morning for this job, and I'm so happy to hear your comments, and I ask Rachel to write me down all your comments, because I want to איך אומרים לפרסם?
Share them.
Publish them or to quote them out, yes.
Okay, yeah, because I want to post it like to my other friends at my work, that always remind for what we wake up every morning, and when we take care of caregivers, and for the social worker that you are being in touch with them. So forgive me about my broken English, but I wishing that you are understand my goal.
Mirit, it was great. It was great. I think that we everybody feel, you know, the emotional things that you say, that everybody, all the participants say. So this is a good final words for this webinar. So drive safe, and good night, everybody. Thank you very much, Moriah.
Thank you a lot.
And if we are going to wait for you tomorrow evening and make yoga together. So please join us tomorrow. You have the link in the chat. Good night. Good night.
Good night. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.